This season's Freedom to Know Wellness Seniors Voices is sponsored by Digital Main Street Raise Entrepreneurs Grant. Welcome to Freedom to Know Wellness's Seniors Voices, a highlight series featuring seniors with different disabilities telling their life stories, transitioning from government disability assistance to becoming pensioners surviving off of CPP and OAS. This year's series was recorded in 2023 and may not reflect some of the new government medical changes implemented mid-2024, but the needs and concerns remain relevant. Recipients on government disability, for example, Ontario's ODSP, the benefits these services provide, like coverage for repairs of mobility devices and medications. At age 65, recipients are booted out of the disability program, cutting them off from these benefits. The government has a seniors drug benefit plan called Ontario Drug Benefit Program, covering up to $100 for medications. However, many important drugs and supplies are not covered under the ODBP plan, forcing seniors to pay exorbitant out-of-pocket expenses for things necessary for their health on an already restricted budget. Due to their disabilities, many individuals were not able to work consistently or full-time jobs during their formidable years that would contribute to a substantial pension, never mind for those who could not work at all, leaving these seniors with meager retirement pensions. Even with government supplementary pension program like GAINS, Ontario's Guaranteed Annual Income System at $87 per month, or the Canada-wide GIS, Guaranteed Income Supplement of up to $1,065.47 a month, given to pensioners whose annual pensions are below $21,768. And keep in mind, the exact amount given will differ depending on their earnings. Many low-income seniors and seniors with disabilities are still left grappling financially to maintain life and independence. Seniors' voices are stories shared without being interviewed by individuals with various disabilities and medical conditions, the difficulties they face transitioning from government disability to Canada pension, and the frustration and financial hardship they encounter now without disability support. In recognition of this financial deficit, Freedom to Know Wellness pays Seniors Voices CARFAC co-production fees as compensation for their stories. For those of us who are currently on disability, we too will become senior citizens, and we need to look out for each other. Seniors Voices is one of FTKWellness's annual podcast series, highlighting the causes and needs of low-income seniors with disabilities and medical conditions, bringing their stories to the ears of the government. Please advise, the content heard on this podcast is based on the opinions and experiences of the individual. Each medical condition and support service differ, as each individual may require more or less support or care than suggested by today's speaker. To protect their privacy, some speakers may use aliases or first names only without visual representation. Welcome to Freedom to Know Wellness, where voices are heard. Seniors Voices Edition.
Hi, my name is Brenda J. I'm 72 years old, senior, female from Guyana, South America. Yeah. I suffer from diabetes, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, depression and anxiety. Now, how do I feel emotionally and my well-being and mobility? My daily life consists of a once a week home care worker and a worker to take me out to doctor appointments. And I do exercise with the Regent Park Diabetes Health Center. And also I get support there for my diabetes education. Yeah, they're a good source that's been helping me for the last 3 years. And in midst of COVID-19, I had access to the diabetes nurses that helps me through, along with my family physician. Well, I'm a pensioner, but when you're transferring from ODSP to a pension when you reach 65, nobody tells you what action you have to take so that you could get your pension. I was naive, and that put me 3 months back where I had no money. because I didn't do the right thing, because I wasn't aware of the procedures and what to do. Anyhow, thank God for my co-op manager. She was asked me, how do I get income to pay my rent? And then she told me, she gave me the application. I fill it up, go back to my worker. My worker, ODSP worker, says, because I'm over 65, she cannot help me. I have to go and apply for pension. However, I go and apply for pension, and it took me 3 months to get my pension. And within that 3 months gap, I had no income. So this is difficult for seniors as they processing through ODSP to pension. So it's important that you ask the worker 3 months before your ODSP ends at 65, what do you do next, or how do you go about receiving your pension? So it would not either overlap ODSP, or you will get some money from ODSP until your pension is successful. So I had a 3 months gap where I had no income, but thank God I'm living in a co-op situation, and the co-op helped me, and they were okay and understanding. So I get 3 months where I owe them, and then I was able to go to the board, and they helped me to pay so much each month until the pension come through. So that was a good thing for me, and like an education for me. How long was I an ODSP? I was an ODSP for, I think, 6 years. Yeah. What happened to me, I was working full time, and I got in an accident coming from work late evening. And the accident sent me to the hospital for 1 year. I was so hurt, head injury. And so the hospital could not take care of me, so they sent me to CAMH, and because I get a breakdown. So I stayed in CAMH for 1 year for rehab to help me to get back on my feet. And CAMH was very, 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 very important that time in my life. I had counseling. I had how to learn to deal with coming home and being healthy again, how to operate my brain. So because of the brain injury, I had what they call, how do I call it? I forget the word, Michelle. When you get brain injury and they give you that, it's like a concussion I got, and they had to shock treatment me. Yes, yeah. So I had 15 shock treatments in order to be able to work through with me and get my head back and get me understanding English, writing, talking, everything, walking, everything. So that's why I end up staying so long at CAMH, and they give me all this support system and put it in place, and that helped me. Then I came home with a social worker who at that time was very knowledgeable, I would say, and very, very kind. And she helped me to get things in the bathroom, like aids in the bathroom, so I could go in the bathroom and have a shower without falling. I get a bar, I get a wall thing, I get a chair in the bathtub. All these accessible things I got. I get a walker to help me to walk and do the exercise. And she came to my home once every day for 6 weeks until I get a worker to come in like a sign worker for me to come in every day for bathing and to help me to cook. So I had that for 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, I was able to look after myself with a worker coming to clean my apartment and doing the laundry and a bit of shopping. So that helped me. And until now, I have that same agency working with me to make sure that I'm healthy at 72 and that I'm okay. So I am really proud of myself, real exercise and reading and learning all the things that happened to me. Now I'm on CPP and OAS. it's a vast different from ODSP. ODSP give me the benefits that I needed over my monthly income, like diabetes care, for depression, arthritis, fibromyalgia, all the things. I get a drug card, and that drug card cover it. When you turn 65 and you go on CPP, that is taken away. Now I had to find that money to buy these things that I need, which to this day got me in a terrible debt. I think seniors need to be educated on this aspect of living from the social worker who is transferring you from ODSP to CPP. They have the knowledge, but if you don't ask, you don't get answers. And that's the problem that I had. I didn't know what question to ask, therefore I did not get any answer. However, I went to the library and I learned a lot of things about Canada CPP, what I could get and what I cannot get, and how do I make it possible for me to live my life to get this support system in place. I did my taxes, and the tax guy told me that I'm allowed to get gains because my CPP was so small. And that allowed me, when I applied the next year income tax, he filled that form, and then I get that. And that is what helping me to pay my rent and buy food and pay for my medication. For me, my medication is costing me $85 every month. And I do not have that $85 because of my low income. So thank God I have my sons and family who help me out with that part of my well-being. And I'm grateful for that. ODSP, when you have type 2 diabetes and you switch from ODSP to CPP, you get cut off of that financial help. I pay $100 every year to Trillium, and Trillium gives me that help for my medication for January, February, March. And then from March to December, the cost is my cost. And that's where the struggle come in. And then I end up having to go to YSM or Scott Mission for food to help me with groceries. And for transportation, because I'm living downtown, I walk everywhere. But so then I don't have to pay. But thank God, for now, the TDC is a low rate, $2.25, and that takes me to and from, because I have 3 hours to get to and from, and so I only pay $2.25. This is terrible. I have to say that. Anyway, it's good. Thank God for the TDC. Okay. And thank God I'm living in a co-op, and it's affordable for me on CPP and OAS, and that helps me greatly. And I am very, very special to the co-op. So if you're looking for co-op housing, just go and apply online for co-op housing, and you will get application to go towards them. Yeah.
Regarding Brenda's next statement, I asked Brenda prior to her interview if she had ever received the government's hardship fund, an important financial assistance for low-income individuals to receive assistance with paying for medical expenses, etc. But many, unfortunately, are unaware of this funding. Follow FTK Wellness's blog and listen to future episodes, hearing from those who have benefited from this fund.
If I receive hardship fund, I don't know what is hardship fund, but I never received any such thing. My experience with doctors and nurses, which helped me to receive any help or whatever. My doctor is very, very knowledgeable about ODSP and CPP, and when you get into 65, and that I can't meet the needs for my medication. So what she does, she tries to send a prescription to my pharmacist and asks my pharmacist, what is the cost of this medication? And if I get a substitute one, would I have to pay that full cost? And we find out that we could maneuver through that. And we were able to do that. We were able to find a cost to bring down my cost to $85 a month. So every month I have to find $85. Now, I'm on something called Ozempic now, which is not an insulin. For type 2 diabetes, you have to take insulin. But this new invitation come to me by taking Ozempic. I would have to pay less of a cost. But the Ozempic is covered for 6 months. So I'm on Ozempic. I'll be on it for 6 months, and then I don't know what happened after that. My medical expense, my diabetes supply, my mobility device and all of that, and bathing and all that. Because I was sick in Cambridge for so long, I have the ability to get support and help when I need it. So all I have to do is to call the city manager, which is looking after paying for my mobility device, my bathing device, and my help in the home. As I just have to notify them, and they come to my house and visit me once a year, see what I need, and try and meet those needs the best of. Okay. Another thing that I do, which helped me very, 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 very important, I collect stuff like new items from friends and family that they're not using anymore and they don't want. And then every 3 months, I put a table down in my co-op and I sell those things. And then I tell my friends and my neighbors that I'm selling these things and I need the money to pay for my medication. And because I live in a co-op and we have a social atmosphere, my friends support me by donating some money towards my medication. And also, when I sell those things, I get the money for my medication for at least 3 months. So that is very, very helpful. So I will continue doing that. And I would ask anybody who is in my position, they could try doing that. You just make a table in where you live, sell the stuff honestly, get the money, and then you pay. These are the kind of things that I do to help myself because, and then if there's a yard sale or anything around my community, I participate and I sell the things there also. And I'm able to get money to keep on paying for my medication. So that make it less difficult and less stressful for those 3 months. However, when that 3 months is done and I don't have any money, I get so stressed out that I will cry for like 2 days and then scream for help. And thank God I get help. Another thing that I was using for the past few months is the Directory of Service for Senior and Caregivers. It's a big manual and you get it from the city yearly. They produce it and you get it. And it has all the information you need to access information to meet your needs. For instance, I was able to get from that directory an application for my hydro because in our co-op, we pay for our hydro separately from our rent. And the cost of the hydro for me is very high because I have to put an air conditioner in my house and run it 24 hours, the heating, the cooking and everything. My hydro is cost me like $165, $200 a month. So I went to the senior directory and I was able to find an application and fill it out, send it in. It took 6 weeks. They returned to me and tell me I need to get my income and my expenses and send that to them. I was able to do that quickly. And then also a letter from my co-op to show how much rent I'm paying. We call it housing charge, but I'll say rent. How much rent I'm paying each month. And then they put over and above is my hydro. And that information was so important in the application that I was able to get some $65 every month to help me to pay my hydro. Oh, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I want to say thanks to Young Street Mission and Scott Mission and all the people who do food bank services to help seniors. I use those services and it's very important to me. It's easy access for me. Or if I can't go, I get one of my friends to go for me. And I wouldn't call his name, but he knows who he is. And he helps me to go and get my food. I have some other good friends in the co-op also that go out and get some shopping for me without any question asked. I just have to call them, give them notice and give them the money and they buy what I need and bring it for me. So I'm grateful. At 72, I'm healthy in one way and sick in the another way. But because I'm very alert and I do exercise and I watch my diet, I'm able to survive on my own and living on my own. And with the help of my sons and friends and family, I feel safe and secure in my life right now. Just to add some information that will help our seniors or anybody else who is in need. What we need for seniors especially is food delivery service in the winter months, because the winter months are longer. And when you're sick with depression and anxiety, and you have depression, you have anxiety, you have diabetes, in the winter months, it's harder to live. It's like every day is so precious, and you don't know if you're waking up healthy or not. So every day is a new day when you have this sort of ailments. So if we could get some food delivery services for winter months for seniors, that would be so good. And I hope some of the organization or the food banks would consider doing this. And the next thing for me, my church and my pastor is a real support system for me, my church and my pastor, because we have Bible study. We engage in games and things like that over Zoom. So Zoom could do on your cell phone or it could do on your computer. And this service is provided by Silver Services, 1-844-522-3344. I repeat, 1-844-522-3344. And it's Silver Services, and it brings the heart to you at home. So it has a lot of services to help seniors to live in and do something while they're locked in or shut in at home, or they're too ill to go outside to do something. These services are provided over Zoom, and they're able to access it right at home and get to do. So like I do yoga from Silver Services, I do bingo, and then I do chair exercise from Silver Services. And then I have prayer and Bible study also from my church. And some days my fibromyalgia or my anxiety is so powerful that I can't get up. And every 3 days I'm down. It took me one more day to heal to get up for the 4th day. So I'm down like 3 days a week and up like 4 days a week. Or sometimes it reverse. So I'm very, very, very mindful of how I'm feeling when I wake up each day. But through prayer and through these services that I get in the home, it helps me to just cancel out how I'm feeling and just come to the computer, go on Zoom, and start to do either the exercise or the bingo, which makes me laugh and jolly. And you could see other people there, other seniors that interact with you on Zoom. It's like a wonderful, wonderful service. And I'm proud I got all these things downtown Toronto. Another thing that I experience also, because I mingle a lot with people, my neighbors and friends, we share information. And sometimes I may not know something, and the neighbor who is having difficulty with something else may share that stuff to me. And then I realize that I'm not getting that service, and the service is free. So I go and apply, and then I try and get the service. So that is what sharing of information is so important. And also, if you have a neighbor next to you, get to know that person and just say hi to each other and make sure that you're checking in once a week or twice a week with that neighbor to say, oh, I'm okay or not feeling well today. I can't go to the store. Could you go for me? And these are the things that help with any kind of help that you need. And in our co-op, for instance, we have a lot of seniors too, and a lot of people with disability. And so because this is a co-op and it's about housing, although we're only about housing, our manager also helped prepare us by giving us information to help us fill those gaps with whether with income, whether about food, whether about medical issue, going to the hospital, seeing a doctor, keeping up with your lifestyle. and keep you in a healthy frame of mind. That helps also. And the last thing I would say is when you're not feeling well, at least go on your phone and text someone and say, you're not feeling well today. That's all you have to do. And somebody will get it or share it with the next person who is able to come and knock on your door and say, can I help you with something, Brenda, today? And that's how I get help. I would text somebody and say, I'm not feeling well today. I'm not feeling normal. Could you help me to take me to the doctor? I learned from Dixon Hall that they have a service whereby you could say you're not feeling well or you have a doctor appointment, and they will help send a worker to help you to take you to the service to your doctor and bring you back, which is very, very good. Central Neighborhood House, I think, still doing that service whereby you need somebody to help you to go to the doctor or the eye specialist or the dentist or any such thing. And they will send a worker, a volunteer to come and help you to take you to that place and bring you back. And so sometimes I use that services when I'm really, really bad, when the fibromyalgia or the arthritis overtake me, or the winter months is really, really bad. Yeah. So as I was saying, Central Neighborhood House, I don't know the number, but it's in the directory. And you could call them up and they will send a support person, a volunteer, and they will take you to the doctor, to the dentist, to any medical appointment that you have. For those who have to go for cancer treatment or whatever, they also will send send a worker to take you, a volunteer. These are all people who are volunteer. And you call them, you make the appointment, and they kindly hook up with you and send you someone to take you. So I am happy about that. For TDC, they also when that person come to take you, that volunteer, they would ask you if you have money to take the streetcar, and if you say no, you don't have, they provide you with tickets to go and come. Yeah, because sometimes I don't have the money to go, and they will take me with their ticket, which I'm really grateful for and very, very thankful. For now, for me at 72, I get about 4 days down and 3 days solid up. And in those 3 days, my worker comes, one, and she helps me with all of the laundry, all of the cooking, all of the cleaning for 2.5 hours. We do it together. So it's possible that we get all the things on my list done that day, and it lasts me for 1 week. So that's important to me. That is the most important thing in my life. And if I'm so sick when she come one day, she will do everything and then leave me in bed, help me to get to the shower at least, and make sure that I get dressed and go back in bed. But the system is working so well with me and my worker. She knows me thoroughly because it's the same worker comes every week. And I'm so happy, happy, happy for that service. And I hope everybody who is inclined that they need service like that, talk to your doctor, and your doctor could get a letter and arrange these services for you. So thank you very much. And I hope what I said would encourage someone else and also get them all the needs filled that they need to be filled out. Thank you very much. Brenda J. out.